Hello, and welcome to my Ironman's first year of progress. I started this account over 1 year ago, but I didn't give it members and start playing it seriously until just about a year ago. I did do Shattered Relics League 3, so there was about 3 months where I didn't play the account on the main game, but I did play it on leagues, but that's how I got a lot of league points for some of the things that you'll see in this video. Starting off, here are my stats for 1 year of membership and pretty much just 1 year of actual playtime. We've got almost base 90s, 2155 total level, and just over 200 million total experience. If you look at the total time played, it's 140 days, just short of 141. I have all the achievement diaries completed except for the Western Provinces diary, which requires 93 Slayer. If we take a look at the bank, we're at 760 million total GP, GE value. However, that's not super important as an Ironman. Let's look at some of the things that are important. We've got a lot of runes, a lot of food, and on this first page here, we have all the runes, teleports, and elemental things. My second tab is going to be mostly PVM stuff. These slots will be upgraded and removed once I get the corresponding items. For instance, when I get an Aram's Hood, that'll replace this bank filler. When I get an Obsidian Helmet, that'll replace this bank filler. This line is melee, this line is ranged, mage, and then this line is prayer. So this is the Devout Sandals. Then this item here is the Holy Gloves, which you get from Elite Clues. And this is the Soul Wars Cape, which of course comes from Soul Wars. I do plan on doing that once I get a Dark Bow and a Blowpipe. This holy symbol will eventually be replaced by a Bone Crusher necklace, and then this of course is just waiting on 94, 95 crafting so I can make a Torture Amulet. I just don't have high enough crafting level for this, but we do have all 4 Zenites. Looking at the rest of this tab, I have my weapons down below. This from here down is a bit disorganized. I don't know what I'll do because there's so many different upgrades that I'm going to get from PVM in the near future that this is kind of just loosey-goosey. But this is kind of what I went with for now, and of course I'll change it as I get new gear. The third tab is going to be a little bit different. This one is more collection loggy focused and a little bit of Slayer going on the side here. You can see I have my Barrows items that I mostly just recently farmed up, some prayer stuff, things for the Wildy, and then I have all of my God D'hide sets here. You can see I'm missing quite a few things. Even though we've done quite a few hard clues, I am still missing a lot, and I'm missing all of the shields. Moving on to the next tab, we have all of our skilling outfits here. The only one I'm missing is Zealot robes. We also have some fashionscape items like the Samurai Casa that I got in the most recent video, and the Mask of Rhino, which is kind of a neat item. I don't ever really see it anywhere. The Mjolnirs, which you get only once per account, so they'd be foolish to throw them away, and you can't store them anywhere, so they just kind of sit in the bank. That's +3 bank slots pretty much forever. Baronite Mace, which isn't really useful unless I'm doing some free-to-play stuff, but again, it's another one of those things that I can't get back easily, so it's going to sit in my bank. The next tab, I could probably move this to the end now that I do this little bank tour, but this is just the GP and any consumable items. I guess extra supplies, we have all the different things here. I don't think I'm missing anything, actually, and the Ash Sanctifier and Bone Crusher are both maxed out. Let's switch those spaces so I get the Imbued Heart there. Honestly, the Imbued Heart doesn't really fit here, but it doesn't really fit anywhere else either. So for now, it'll be here because it's something I'll add to most of my layouts. So I guess here fits. And then, of course, we have the Tangle Root that we cut not too long ago from a seaweed patch at like 16.5 million farming experience, which is decently lucky, actually. Moving on to the next tab, we have skilling. Kind of see what's going on here. We have mining, woodcutting, crafting, and then crafting and supplies on the right-hand side. Going down here, we have, it gets slightly more disorganized the lower you go in these tabs. And down here, we just have some molds and things. But this is just all skilling stuff, and then fishing down here as well. This is a bank filler for a dragon harpoon. The next tab is herblore and pots. We have our grimy herbs, cleaned herbs, secondaries, pots 4-to-1, where it makes sense. So I have never a need for a 2 or 1 dose super defense pot, so we only have 4 and 3 dose here. And to make this kind of work out a little bit, because there's more pots than there are herbs, I have staminas here, and since I'm never going to use a 2 or 1 dose super energy pot, I have my 4 and 3 dose super energies here, amylase crystals, and then stamina mixes. This will eventually go away at some point in the future, kind of far in the future, because this is a lot of staminas, because I intend to use all of my caviar, which is down here, on ancient brews. This gives me a lot of herb lore experience, actually only like 3 more experience than the staminas. However, the effects of an ancient brew mix are much better than a stamina mix, because for ancient brews you'll use them when doing thieving, because then you can get your redemption back up, plus they'll heal some, so it's actually like probably the best use for caviar, and it gives you like 63 experience per potion. That requires 92 herb lore, which we're very close to. And then at the very bottom of the page we just have a couple extra supplies. These will mostly go away if we ever green out the Shades of Morton log. I will keep the coffin and 1 gold key, and probably the flam tier, but honestly I'll probably keep most of these things. They're just going to remain at the bottom of this tab. Moving on to the seed tab, I have recently just cleaned this up, and I actually have plans to clean this up a little bit further. I was just looking at it again, and there's a few things that I'm going to take out of here. The watermelon seeds, the cactus, the potato cactus, the berry seeds, belladonna, pretty much most of these seeds. I'm just going to leave the herb seeds and the snape grass and limpworts. Actually, I can remove the snape grass as well, seeing as how I have 17,000 snape grass, and then just put these all in the seed vault. I really only need to take things out of the seed vault when I do my farming contracts, and it's really not much of a big deal to have them in there. The only thing I have to remember is I have to change some muscle memory when it comes to doing birdhouse runs, and start collecting the birdhouse seeds rather than opening them as I go. That way it doesn't pollute my bank. But I have saved myself a lot of bank space by cleaning this out. Moving on to the next tab, we have all our clue scroll related items, plus a little bit extra at the bottom there. So these are all our clue scrolls / holiday things. All our shared clues are right here. I have it organized in a way that is also useful for mobile, because I do occasionally do clue scrolls on mobile. So this is actually a really nice tab if I need to do clue scrolls on mobile, because I can come in here. I've got my beginners, my masters, various I think elite steps. Maybe this is just master step. The abyssal bracelets are useful for any time I need to go to the abyss. These just prevent me from being skulled whenever I have to enter the abyss, which is very handy for especially like hard clues where you're going to be going into the wilderness a lot, and it really sucks to be skulled because it means you're going to lose your clue scroll, and I don't like doing that. A lot of these items down here are all for fallow. Some of these items right here, like the pike and the trout, are going to be for beginner clues. As I'm recording this video, the beginner clue changes to Charlie the Tramp have not taken place yet, so I am waiting on like really grinding out beginner clues until that takes place. Once it does, you bet your ass I'm going to go for the 600 beginner clues to try to finish up and just never touch another beginner clue again. It will sit in my bank forever. These items down here are all master clue step items that are just waiting on other items to be put away. Once I start getting these things in the future, after the stash unit has been created, I'll just alch them. In the case of the obsidian cape, I will probably just send it to Death Coffer just for an extra 700k, which is, you know, pretty nice. The bottom of the tab here is where I stack up all of my clue caskets that I wait till the end of most videos to open. So these are kind of always here, so they take up like 5 or 6 spaces. The last tab is more of just a to be sorted tab. It's a little bit miscellaneous, but also not. The top couple rows are going to be here always. So I'm always going to get new ancient shards, new totem pieces, new uncut gems. I'm going to get bird nests. I'm going to add a seed nest here. Like I said, I don't want to pollute my bank, and this just kind of, it's pretty quick to go through them all at once. I went through 700 of these bird nests with rings in them in like maybe 5 minutes or so. So it's not that big of a deal to do the ones with the seeds in them, because those also can be done a little bit faster. You can do more than 14 per inventory. Some god eggs here, which I will be opening on video 30 of my progress videos, so stay tuned for that. I am going to need to try to stay on top of this tab because it does get cluttered very fast. If you've watched any of my progress videos, you'll know that this tab looks very different than in my last video. This tab used to be a scroll tab, and now we have several spots left. The pyrophosphate and the calcite, or I feel like these go in a better spot. Maybe they just go up by the bones here because they eventually get used on fossils to give you prayer experience. And I will be getting a lot of these when I do volcanic mine at some point in the future. When will that happen? I don't know. I'm always like kind of postponing it because it's never a priority to do volcanic mine. It does give me some good stuff, but not like a lot of good stuff. I do want the ash covered tome, but not enough to go grind it out. So here it sits. Actually, I'm going to move this ring to the clue tab because that's actually where it belongs. Until I get a spare fire cape, this is where it's going to sit. Okay, so that's enough for the bank. Let's look at some of the collection log stuff that we've done on this account so far. There hasn't been a lot of bossing done on this account. We've killed 100 sires and we got no unsired, so this is basically a dead log. We are not the level for the alchemical hydra. We've done 572 barrows and we have about a little more than half the log, which is pretty decent in terms of like total items gotten. We're a little bit over rate or under rate. I'm at like 120 right now. But I do not want to go back to barrows until such a time as I have a Trident of the Swamp and a occult necklace. That or an Osmumten's Fang. I don't know when I will be going to TOA, but it's just not right now. We've killed 21 Bryos. We do not have the Essence, which is to be expected. It is a much rarer drop than 21. We've killed a little bit of Callisto when we did not get anything. Not at the level of Cerberus. We did get our D pick from a Chaos Elemental at 88 KC. We do not have much of these KCs here. We did kill some Dagonath Rex, and we got a Zerker Ring, Warrior Ring, and Dragon Axe. Honestly, this was actually at 126 KC. The Dragon Axe was on drop rate, quite literally, and then we did one extra kill for the Diaries. We've only gotten ourselves one Fire Cape. We've done one Fight Caves, and I do not plan on going back until I get a Bofa, not because I can't do it, just because I don't want to do it. For Gauntlet, we've done 10 regular and 50 corrupted and gotten 2 crystal armor seeds and 1 weapon seed, so we are looking pretty lucky on that. This account has done a lot of Hespori. We've done 134 kills and gotten 4 bottomless buckets. We got Quite Spoon on the Calphite Queen with 18 KC head, which allowed us to complete our Elite Diary. Done a little bit of Black Dragon, and we've gotten 1 KBD heads, but that's about it. I don't plan on going back to that until we have a Lance. We've gotten about 3 Kraken tasks, and we have 2 jars of dirt, which we got on the same task at the very beginning. We've done very little other bossing on this account. We've done 22 Skatizo and gotten 22 Dark Claws, which is very lucky. However, I am going to save all of my totems for the eventual Jar of Darkness buff, which we will be doing all of that when that goes live. That turns a 1 in 2,000 drop into a 1 in 200, which is still very rare, but like possible rather than completely ridiculous. Our Temperos log is at some point going to be greened out once we do more worms, but we have 1666 reward permits claimed, 355 KC, and we've gotten everything out of the log that's important except for the Dragon Harpoon. Our Wintertodt KC is 400 and we're missing just the Phoenix. We've just done the 1 KC for Zulrah, and of course we just have the scales. As far as raids go, the only raid that we've ever done is to scale a Cox raid. We've done 1 entry mode Theater of Blood, and we have not touched Tomes of Amasket. On the 2-year anniversary of this account, I'm hoping this log looks a lot more filled in. I do a lot of clues on this account. I do pretty much every clue that hits my bank, except for beginners, pretty much right when I get it. The occasional clues that I get on mobile, I don't do right away because sometimes I'm just busy and I can't actually play the game to do clues, so they just sit in my bank until I either get home or until I have free moments. I've done 131 beginners, 132 easies, 115 mediums with a rangers, 2 spiked manacles, and 2 climbing boots. I actually really want these holy sandals, probably more than the rangers I got. But we do have rangers, which will be nice when we get Pegasian crystals. 172 hard clues. We got our Robin Hood hat. And we also got, where is it? It is not in this log. It is in this log. We actually got a gilded piece, a gilded chain body. Terrible piece, by the way. It looks like shit. But I did get a gilded piece. I'm going to need to do a lot of hard clues in the future because I really, really want to complete this God D-Hide set because I think it looks really nice in the bank and on the log. I've done 37 elite clues on this account, and we've gotten a Fury ornament kit and a Deerstalker. So not really terribly lucky on elite clue uniques. 2 uniques out of 37 clues. That's not great. The item I want most out of this is actually just the Holy Wraps. The Infinity kits are okay, but we don't have any Infinity gear to use it on. Scimitar kit would be kind of cool, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I guess the kits would be pretty cool, but really just the Holy Wraps is the only thing I'm actually looking for out of all this. I've also done 13 masters on this account, which was actually on the 13th one was our first and second unique from Master Clues. We got both the Samurai Casa and the Samurai Gloves in 1 pull. And of course, like most things, what I'm really looking for out of Masters are you know, the pet, and then third age. Aside from those two things, the kits would be cool, but the only kit that I could use is like the Anguish and the Dragon Defender. We don't have any of these other items, so... Oh, Tormented would be pretty cool too, because it lets you actually have 2 bracelets instead of just 1. For shared, the only things I'm really missing are the Guthics and the Arma Page 3 and the War Blessing. We have everything else out of the log. And it looks like we've gotten almost 900 purple sweets. Oh, I guess I ate 4 purple sweets. I think I did that during my Fire Cape run. Looking over at minigames, we only have 2 out of the 11 from Barbarian Assault. We are level 5 in all roles, and we do have some extra points because every now and then I'll jump in to help clan mates whenever they're doing Barbarian Assault. But we don't have enough points in all the roles to be able to do some high-level gambles. And actually, I don't think... No, none of these things come from high-level gambles. You just buy them straight up. The Granite Helmet is the only thing that comes from high-level gambles, that and the pet. The Agility Arena, I am not going to grind out until I have 99 Agility because that lets you do the course without failing any of the obstacles, which just makes it way chill. Castle Wars, you might have noticed in the bank, I do already have a lot of Castle Wars tickets. We're up to 279 total Castle Wars tickets. I would say I average probably 3 a day because I do not do 6 a day on the weekends. I sometimes only do 3, and there are some days that I just don't have time to set up a game, and so I don't get any tickets. But I average like 3 or so a day. So this is just a very passive in the background log to be completed. Fishing trawler we completed, but it took a lot of KC. I think this account took me about 100 KC. My main account took me like 140. We completed the Giant's Foundry when going for 91 smithing. Gnome Restaurant, I always have like this feeling of doing Gnome Restaurant to finish out the log, but I don't need any of these things, so I don't ever do it. There's other things that I'd rather do to progress my account, and I'm not like exclusively going for collection logs, so this has just never been a desire to actually go after it. Guardians of the Rift, we did a lot of Guardians of the Rift. We got the full outfit and the ring. Did also manage to pull the lantern. I will need to go back here in the future to get the other die, to get the bag, to get enough pearls for the eye, and hopefully get the pet and we can green out this log. Guardians of the Rift is a nice minigame. I do like it. Speaking of nice minigames, Hallowed Sepulchre is a very nice minigame that is for agility. And I plan on going back here at some point in the future to get 99 agility and hopefully get a couple more rings. We got really lucky on this first ring at like 20 KC or 22 KC and have not got another in over 200 KC. So the luck has evened out. We are now dry. Yeah, I'll just keep going back because it's great for all the other loot that it gives. The strange old lockpicks will be useful for more Barrows runs in the future. They were so useful for the Barrows runs that I already did. Honestly, they sped up the runs probably by a full minute each. I highly, highly recommend doing Hallowed Sepulchre before ever going on a Barrows grind. Last Man Standing, this thing is not getting touched, like, for a long time. I do not plan on going to Last Man Standing. I don't know if I ever will. If I do go, I'll probably go for these upgrade kits, the wards, Dragon Pickaxe, and these lava and steam upgrade kits because I really like the look of the steam and I kind of like the look of the lava. So these are the ones I'd go for if I ever win here. All this other stuff, yeah, maybe when I like really focus on collection log. Mage Training Arena, we have all the basic Ironman utilities. The next time I go back, I'm going to go for the Mage book, and then I'll go for the rest of the set to green out the log. It is something I plan on doing. I said in several videos back that I would do it before I get to 99 Magic. However, I do not think that's going to be the case. I might go for the Mage book before I get 99, but these other items will be after 99. Mahogany Homes, of course, is greened out because that's how I got to 99 construction. So, yep, that's greened out with almost 400 supply crates. Pest Control, I was going to green this out, but then the poll came out about increasing the points you get after completing the medium diaries. So, yep, I'm waiting on that. Rogue's Den, this is pretty much an easy green for just about any character. Shades of Morton, we have not gotten close to greening out the log. We're not even halfway, but at some point I'm going to go and get at least the Zealots pieces, the Gold Locks, and the Tree Wizard Journal, and maybe I'll go finish these out. These are kind of a lower priority for me right now. For Soul Wars, we only did enough games to get us the Ectoplasmator. Once I get a Dark Bow and a Blowpipe, I do want to go back and get a Soul Cape. Those two items are not hugely beneficial, but they do speed up runs a little bit and make it very consistent. So I will go collect my Soul Cape, and I'll probably do like maybe 10 Spoils of War to try to go for the Little Creator. Temple Trekking is another easy green slot. Tithe Farm was a green slot. I got every single thing from Tithe Farm, doing Tithe Farm itself, including the herb sack, because I felt that that was a little bit more beneficial for this account rather than going for Slayer and spending 750 points on this herb sack. Trouble Brewing is a mini game that I do plan on doing after I get my Achievement Diary cape, when I take a little bit of a break, and to do a couple other games while I play this. I'm just going to do Trouble Brewing for the 140 hours while I play other games, and just green out this log all at once. Volcanic Mine is a mini game that I want to do, but haven't done. Going over the other tab, Aerial Fishing, we have not done any of these collection log slots from Aerial Fishing. However, we do have 40 pearls. If at some point in the future my clan does a skill of the week with either fishing or hunter, I actually plan on doing this activity because I do want to green out this log. This is kind of a frivolous log. These two items, the barbarian fishing rod and the pearl fishing rod, are kind of just sort of nice and a little bit of a flex when you're doing things like angler fishing or barbarian fishing. They save one slot. It's ultimately not a big deal, but it's kind of cool. We have 6 out of the 51 pets. They're all just the skilling pets. And then the tiny tempor. We greened out Camdozel. Basically, before I started this account, I got all of these things on free-to-play except for this Imcando hammer. I just stacked up all the Baronite deposits while on free-to-play, and then once I eventually membered this account, I opened them all up, and we managed to get 2 hammers. I've gotten 3 of the 10 champion scrolls. We've gotten Earth Warrior, Lesser Demon, and Zombie. We have not gone for Chaos Druid pieces, which is fine. The Chompy Bird hunting pieces, we've only done up to the Hard Diary worth. Creature Creation, we've done a couple extras just from getting red spider eggs, and I guess this black satchel at some point. I think from the Achievement Diary, I think I got the black satchel. These are pretty easy green log if I ever want for it. Defenders are pretty obvious. We do not have any Fossil Island notes. This is another easy 10 items if I ever go for it. Now on to the most spoon of this entire account, which is 4 Zenite shards and a heavy frame in 219 KC. I will not go back to this until I have kind of BIS gear because these are all just collection log pieces. I have no real need for any of these items. It's just collection log. As far as monkey backpacks, this is probably something I'll do at some point in the background of any of my videos and get some KC on this Apatol agility course. I think I'm actually at like 60 or 70 laps for this course just because I did some randomly at some point. At some point in the far future, I will go ahead and get everything. And why is the princely monkey out of order? This guy is the top for this whole thing. I don't know why he's out of order. He should be at the end there. Motherlode Mine is pretty obvious. We got most of our mining levels up to 92 there, so I have the entire log. My notes, we did not get any notes while going for the Chewed Bones, so we have 0 out of 26. This is something I'll get passively while going for the Dragon Full Helmet. If I get super duper lucky on the Dragon Full Helmet, I will rummage skeletons and green out this log at some point. Random events, I do collect all the frog tokens that I can get my hands on just because number go up. And then the stale baguette is something that we're hunting just like everybody else is. Once the poll goes into effect for the stale baguette from the sandwich lady, our chances will go up very slightly, but it's still like a 1 in 400 for every time she appears. So yeah, it kind of sort of makes it easier, but honestly, we're just going to have to get super lucky to ever get this. Revenants log, I haven't done a lot of Revenants, but this is the log currently. Rooftop agility, we've gotten over 1,000 marks of grace. This is an easy green log. Shooting stars is an easy green log. Skilling pets you saw earlier. The Slayer log is looking pretty nice. All our whips are on here. We've gotten, looks like 4 black masks. We have the 3 regular Slayer masks and the 1 purple one. I have 21 rune boots, which I guess I've been alching these. I haven't really been paying attention. I should stop alching them because I want them for my PvP sets. Not that I'm ever going to PvP, but if I need to take boots that I don't care about losing, these are supposed to be it. Scrolling down a bit on the log, I have 2 drops of Dragon Throne Axes and 1 drop of Dragon Knives from Worms. We do not have a single Dragon Harpoon, which is sad, and no Dragon Sword. Also sad, which less sad now that I have some other gear. We've got 1 out of the 2 Drake items. I have not opened any Brimstone keys, or if I have, it's been like 1 or 2, so we have no Dusk pieces. We do have the Basilisk Jaw. No Dagon High, even though I've opened like 30 or so chests. We've gotten 2 Blood Shards as drops, and then we have all but 1 of the Ancient Ceremonial pieces. Our Tazar log is looking pretty lucky. We are literally only missing the helmet and the rings. The rings are very common. The helmet is 1 in 2,500, but I do expect to get it at some point before 99 Slayer. The miscellaneous log, we are looking pretty good on. I do have my Dragon Warhammer at about 2,400 KC, under half rate, which is very nice, because those are not a very exciting enemy to kill. so it sucks to go dry. We have 2 of the 3 big fish. We're just missing big bass, but I'm not really actively hunting that. We got both of our Ferroceptors. You do not actually need 3. There is a third one that you could put in a stash unit, but the stash unit still works if you only have the Menophyte items and the staff on your hand. So if you're equipping the staff, you can still put the stash items in without actually putting the staff in. So any Ironmen out there that are looking for a third staff, you don't actually need it. You need one for the altar, and the other one is just like you can keep it equipped. I did get one of the evil chicken pieces. I think we're at like 50 or 60 maybe offerings. I got this really early on. I got very lucky on this piece. I'm hoping that luck continues for at least like maybe the bottom and the boots. The helmet looks so dumb, but the bottom of the boots kind of looks nice. You can see the rest of the log here. We've gotten our Enhanced Crystal Teleport Seed, 21 Xeric Talismans. We got those 4 Mask of Ranools that I got while killing those druids in the Forthos dungeon. We have not done any attempts at Dragonstone items. I do plan on opening all of my crystal keys at the Enhanced Crystal Elven chest to hope for these pieces. This is like one of the biggest time gates on an Ironman is this chest right here, is getting these 5 items. So if I can pull any of these and get really lucky, that would be super nice. Wrapping up, let's go ahead and go to the POH and take a look at that. One thing I forgot to do during the original recording was check how many farming contracts that I've done in this year. So let's check this together. I've actually only checked it once, and that was quite a long time ago. So let's see how many we've completed. We've done 757 total farming contracts. And if you didn't already notice, we do have an untrimmed construction cape. I have 4 other capes in Death's Coffer in case I ever screw up on one of my 99s and accidentally trim this, or make a boo-boo and drop it on the ground and pick it up rather than telegrab it, which I did once already. I did it on mobile. I just didn't think about it. I accidentally dropped it, and I did not have drop warnings enabled, so I picked it up and 1 trimmed. So I do only have 1 right now before dipping into the Death Coffer. But we have 4 there, and worst case scenario, I max and I have 1 in Death Coffer, and I pick it up then, because I will have an untrimmed with max. It's going to happen. Whether or not I have to wait till max to flex it again is just something I hope I don't have to do. The house is maxed. We have every teleport in the Nexus. We have everything built in the achievement gallery, as well as the Marble Adventure log, the quest list, the boss display, which I do have my Kraken jars in. We have our... This is the one that trimmed. This used to be untrimmed. Now it's trimmed. Very sad. We have a maxed out altar and a maxed out jewelry box. Maxed out pool, tree, and fairy ring. We have an extra fairy ring here. All this over here is all maxed out. It's a maxed out house. Just, trust me, I guess. When I get 99 smithing, I will be putting the armor here. This is the quest hall, or no, this is the skill hall. So I have my harpoon fish, my mounted KQ head, which I use to complete the diary. Once I complete my 800 tickets at Castle Wars, I will actually have the second set, which is the blue and the white set, and I will just keep it here. I do not give a shit about the gold set. I actually don't like the gold set very much. I think the blue and the white set looks really nice. And of course, it takes way less tickets. I'll probably buy a couple of the other items just to have them as Fashionscape as well. As far as everything goes, we have got our league trophy here. We have a rune trophy. It looks as... Oh, at least 31,980 points. How much did we actually get? I think you can... Where can you check? No, that's not it. Is it league statistics? Okay, here it is. We got almost 42,500 points here in the first league, which I used to buy, well, all this stuff in this room that you see, as well as a couple ornament kits that I used on my cannon and a couple items. And we also bought this bad boy. This is a tier 3 outfit that was 15,000 league points. And that allows us to do this. Totally worth it. That pretty much wraps it up for this account. I do have everything in the toy box here, all 88 items, everything in the fancy dress box, of course, because all the random events are done, except for the stale baguette. Oh, and I don't have... Why do Shades Robe go in here? This doesn't make any sense. These you can get from shades in the catacombs of Kourend, but like it doesn't fit here. Anyway, maybe I'll get it at some point just to green it out if I ever get the stale baguette. And then all of my clue scroll items that aren't in my bank that I have in my collection log are in the treasure chests, and we have a couple other items here, nothing to really write home about. I hope you have enjoyed this 1-year progress update for the Ironman account for Old School RuneScape. If you would like to see the progress that I have documented so far, you can check out the playlist that I have linked in the description. If you want to see more content, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Have a good one.